Well, hello everybody. Here we are, still just anchored off of Key West. Key West is right there. There's our sunken boat. A couple new boats have pulled in. They're not allowing foreign boats into the marina, although the marina guys are pretty good. If you leave them some ID, they will let you run to the grocery store. But I know I haven't put a lot of videos up lately. I've been doing more personal videos on my Facebook page, which you're welcome to go view. But one thing I did want to show is the problems we had first with our davits, how we sort of fixed them, and people have come up to us and they're surprised because most people just keep their dinghies, well, either beside their boat or tied onto the back of the boat. We always lift ours out, which is great because we always have a nice clean bottom on our dinghy. We don't have to scrub it and clean it, and it keeps it a little bit newer. Now, we put these davits on. These davits are Atkinson Hoyle davits, and there's an extension piece here so that, because they have to go all the way down to the transom. I also made those little white blocks there. See, they're on the tapered, I don't know if I can move that safety line there, but see how these tapered blocks here? So we just milled those out of that high density polyurethane, I think it is, to level them out. Now, we still got more work to do because even as we have discovered, davits put a lot of strain on your transom. So our next challenge is we're actually going to put some 3/4 inch plywood in behind, like inside the transom for more strength, because those 4 bolts there alone will not hold it. So here's what we had to add to the davits. We added 3 stainless steel cables. So one runs back here, one runs here, and there's another one here that runs down, and that's on both sets of davits. So you can see there's 3 cables coming off. On this one, we actually went a little bit higher on this one because this is the heavy end. This is where the motor is, and the dinghy itself is 113 pounds. Well, that motor's another 80. So while the davits are rated for 350, the bolts there will not, your transom will, I call it oil canning. It'll kind of go, it'll actually, you'll see your transom, it'll weaken your transom. You got to put straps on. All right. And also, I put that bar across. So what I did was I got a couple pieces of stainless steel threaded rod. I haven't finished it yet, actually. And then that's just a piece of 1-inch stainless, and ran it across. It achieves 2 things really well. It ties the 2 together so you don't have the davits wobbling back and forth. And they do. You know, you can actually see them move. Also, it's a great grab bar for when you're getting off of the boat, or off the boat into the dinghy, or vice versa, because you get something to just grab onto there, so you can just kind of grab onto it and hang on. These 2 stands, there's a new boat coming in. Actually, it's probably going out. And then, of course, we attach our solar panels above that. So we pull our dinghy up every single night, and the problems we've had are we couldn't get it tight enough. It kept swinging, it rubbed the dinghy, and we were able to find these stainless steel ratchet straps. We found them at a store in Miami, at a rigging shop in Miami. And so now when we pull our dinghy up, we have a strap. You see here, I just throw it over, catch it, I hold on to one end, throw it over, kind of swing it around, and then just ratchet it here. And then on the other end, we just use the regular tie that goes to the front of the dinghy there to hold that in. And then we get a nice secure dinghy. If it's going to get really rough and we're really into big waves, we have a second strap we'll throw around. Most of the time, though, this is fine. At first, we didn't do it, and we ended up getting movement here. So this is a fix I'm going to have to do where it's not the greatest design, but the rubber is rubbing against that davit. So a few things. We also attach, this is our bimini, and our bimini straps are also attached to their davits. So our davits play a kind of an integral part on the boat, which is why we're adding the 3/4 inch plywood behind them, because you need that extra strength. So what else happens at the back here? In order to undo everything, it's pretty simple process. I mean, we don't have a problem. We just unsnap that. This cable comes off, untie that blue line, and then we just drop the davits that way. A couple things that we used to have is I don't know if you can see, but see how the lines there are on a little bit of an angle? We used to have them on way the angle was much greater. It wasn't a good scene, and we ended up, you can probably see that line there is a little chewed up, so we're going to have to replace that eventually. One of the hardest things we've had is coming up with a rig to hold the dinghy up, and so I know some people use spreader bars, and I think that might be the way we may have to go in the future. Right now we have a line, but because the attachment points are either end of our dinghy, remember our transom's only about 4 feet wide, if that, and our dinghy's just over 11, so you can see how the lines have to sort of, they go on an angle this way and that way. So it's a little bit of jerry-rigged, but maybe when we get back on the hard, we'll spend some time coming up with a better way. This is Phil from Desperado 2, just anchored off of Key West, hoping we are eventually going to make it back to Canada. We're probably not going to sail back to Canada. Well, we can't anyway because the canals are closed. So we're going to go to Jacksonville. We have a car there, and then we'll spend a few months in Canada before returning to wherever, I don't know where we're going to return to. We're probably going to go down a little bit farther south, or perhaps just continue exploring places like Bahamas. It's a beautiful day, 35 degrees. Have a good day, everyone.